everybody. Welcome to season 2 of Behind the Camera Quick Cuts, a side series of Behind the Camera where I interview streamers to talk about their journeys, celebrate their wins, and of course, their challenges. And what better way to start season 2 of Quick Cuts than my guest today, Soggy, formerly known as TheSoggyKracker. It is a pleasure to have you on the show. How are we doing, sir?
We're doing good, Andy. How about yourself? A pleasure for being on here.
Oh man, absolutely my pleasure. My pleasure. So obviously we go back a few years. So we started. I think we started originally streaming around the same time. I want to say like a good few years ago, back in the Twitch days. But if you want to take us back to like the start, man, of your gaming and streaming journey, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I think I started back in 2018. I don't know if that's around the same time you did or not.
Definitely wasn't. I completely got that one wrong. I won't lie. Oh,
So
that's bad. That's on me. That's on me.
no, you're good. You're good. I've slept a lot since then too. But what originally got me into streaming was there's a couple of streamers that I watched that did speed running. Like it was a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time speed running. I was like, you know what, this would be kind of cool. So I tried speedrunning offline, and then I saw the community that was built around those channels, and that was something that I've always wanted because, like, I've never really felt like I was able to be myself until I was able to play the
Mhm.
game, and then whenever I realized that I wasn't good at Legend of Zelda, I found Logan's Twitch, and then that kind of inspired me on to go to Mario, and I think that's where you and I connected as well. I
It
could be
was,
wrong, but
yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah, it was Mario 64 back in the days of the 16-star runs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Dang Mips. Mips killed so many runs for me. It's crazy.
Oh, same, dude, same. Like, and but like I quite like what you say about, like, having the sense of community and feeling like you couldn't be yourself, until you were playing a game. And it's really heartwarming because it's one of those things where, like people like our age, there's this whole, or at least when we were a bit younger, there was the whole like taboo about being into video games or old video games
Yeah.
when we're of a certain age. But then it becomes this like full circle moment almost where it's like, we're like both in our 30s and it's just like, yeah, games are like, they always have been and they still are probably more than ever a big part of our lives. But it's
Yeah.
something that goes
Definitely.
like a lot deeper than just playing the game. And, you touched on it there. Like it's the aspect of community and like-minded people.
Yeah. Exactly. So again, what we're saying, we're talking off pod about I was listening to Logan and he was saying that like he would always be playing a game, whether it be a mobile game or online or
Hmm.
whatever have you. And I laughed at that because it's true. I'm an 18 wheeler driver, and as they're unloading the truck, I'm sitting there just playing through whatever mobile game has my attention, or if I'm using the restroom or whatever else. So like I'm always playing some kind of game.
Yeah, that's it. Like, and the mobile games is, I still love them. Like I was never big into the likes of like Temple Run and all these like sort of infinite sort of scroller games like that. But
Yeah,
you you still find yourself going back to them every so often, especially I think when you kind of have that sort of influence from like streaming games and stuff like that. Then it's kind of just like it kind of brings back a sort of, I wonder if Angry Birds is still as hard as it was or something.
yeah. Yeah, so like I've tried Temple Run, but like I guess during the height of Temple Run, I really wasn't interested in it very much. What kind of got me right now is like playing like Dragon Ball Z games or whatever. As you can see, I'm a huge
Yeah,
Dragon
yeah.
Ball fan,
Love it.
so yeah, that's what it is right now. So,
What sort of what Dragon Ball game is it at the moment that you're playing?
on the mobile game, it's called Dock and Battle, and it's like just
Okay.
like a matching colors thing, and then how the more
Oh,
colors that you match, the more charged up your character is, and the bigger they attack, they fire at whatever foe you're facing. So
I can fully tell
it'll
you right
definitely waste
now.
your time.
I can fully tell you right now. I'm downloading that. I love those we match games like that. I think they're great. I think they're so good.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it was a Dragon Ball Z one. And I am also a big fan of DBC. So 100%.
Oh man, it's bad because like I got my nephew into it recently, like 2 weeks ago, and then my wife is like, "No, you can't poison his mind too." So it was a
That's
lot of
the
fun.
thing as well. It's it's funny you say that because like I kind of recently had like a that kind of similar connection with my own nephew as well. Like I was up at the in-laws, and our nephew was there, and he was showing me this game. It was like a little cash builder sort of, or is that literally all you're doing is like flicking a plane as far as you can go, and
Oh,
you
really?
upgrade it and stuff like that. It was actually weirdly fun, but like
Right.
literally like it got to the point I couldn't get away from him because he was just like, "Oh, you have a go, show me how to do this," and I was just like, "All right, okay, cool." I loved it, like, but like it's the sort of thing like I think it's nice to have that kind of like relationship with like nieces, nephews, kids, and all that, like because
Yeah.
they're gonna get into games, and the quality of games, let's just say, isn't as what it was when we were younger.
Oh,
Looking at you,
definitely not.
Roblox, you've ruined it for the rest of us.
Oh man.
But no, man,
Well,
it's nice. And so obviously, you had your Twitch days, from 2018, and you took a fairly extended hiatus from streaming altogether. Now, there are a lot of factors involved in that, but you seem to have found your home in TikTok recently when you came back to streaming a few months ago. It's just taken off for you. Like, how was that getting back into streaming, first of all, especially on a new platform?
well, on a new platform, there was a lot of. I feel like there was like a lot of unnecessary pressure. I don't know if that makes any sense or not.
Oh, I get you.
I think I've seen the bigger streamers that is on the Purple app on here as well. And I guess like I was okay. My brain was faster than my mouth. Whenever I took the hiatus, I was actually more focused on content creation, my YouTube, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
etc. And I think one time I did stream on TikTok back when I was playing the Call of Duty days, and the community grew from there. And I was actually playing with viewers, and I felt like I had
Okay.
more of an interaction on TikTok versus the Twitch. And then now, like whenever I came back to it, it was scary, but like the immediate connection that I had with whatever community members that came in, it was like this is home. It immediately was like this is
Mm-hmm.
where I should be. And from there, like you said, it took off, and I have no idea where these people came from, but I appreciate it, especially with Zelda. Like whether it be, I think it was Wind Waker or Twilight Princess is when the big boom actually happened. I think that's when
Yeah.
I hit over 1,000. So and we're at 1,700 right now. We're on our way to two, and I'm like, holy
Yeah.
crap, we just hit one. So
That's
yeah, that's
incredible.
kind of where we're at.
Yeah, and that's awesome, man, because like that was like as close to an overnight thing as it gets, really, because it was must have been within what, a couple of weeks or something of you
Yeah,
going on
yeah,
to TikTok, like that. It just sort of took off because you were going through loads of different Zelda games, weren't you, at the time?
yeah. I think I was still trying to find like my niche, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because so like I was playing Mario, as you know, on the Purple app, and I was playing Mario over here every once in a while. But for some reason, I really connected with Zelda, and I think a lot of people did too. Because a lot growing up was like, oh, Mario this, Donkey Kong that, insert game here. But for some reason, I was like, no, Ocarina of Time and Zelda, and I finally beat Majora's Mask like 2 months ago off stream by myself, and that hooked me too. And then when I found out about randomizers, that was like, oh, that would open up a whole nother, oh my god, like But I also found out with anything retro, actually a lot of people like too, and I also like going down the memory lane, I guess, for a lot of people, because a lot of those games I never played. I never played any of the Fairly Odd Parents game growing up, but when I played
Yeah.
it, a lot of people like flies to a whatever it is, flies to a moth to a flame. It was just crazy. So
Yeah, definitely. And like that's the good thing about TikTok as well, because the discoverability is incredible. Like, and it even goes as far as you could see like a Mario streamer, and you'll have
yeah,
somebody come into their chat and be like, "Oh my god, I haven't seen this game in such a long time." And
yeah,
like, but Mario is one of those games where it's a bit of a safety net because you're always going to have people who are going to watch it. Whereas with the likes of Zelda, you've got Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. They're probably the sort of safer bet you can argue. But when you go out into the further games of that franchise, like there is that kind of risk that you think people might just be there for the more iconic games, for example. But to me, it sounds as though like you found your place, especially in TikTok, because you're able to be yourself. There's like there's this kind of different sort of more relaxed thing about you when you're streaming, that it feels like more natural. And it's honestly, man, it's incredible to see. Like I'm really really happy for you for how things are going and how it's just worked out, especially after your hiatus.
I appreciate that, Andy, and the like. like I said earlier, like the community here on TikTok, I feel is more engaging.
Uh-huh.
That and there's nothing wrong with the big Twitch streamers. They got there, they did hard work. That's good for them. But I also felt like it's harder for the smaller streamers to be quote unquote discovered versus like you were saying earlier here, like, oh, I like Mario. Who's this random guy on my For You page? Hey, he's pretty cool. Let's get engaged with him, kind of thing. Yeah, going into the later stages of the franchise, like I was really hesitant for Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Just for some reason, the art style I wasn't very a big fan of, but I got pressed on it, and I was like, you know what, we can give it a shot, and actually shot up to one of my favorite Zelda games, and then Twilight Princess completely took over. Like I absolutely love that game. That was probably I haven't been that full of glee since I played Ocarina of Time for the first time, and I was
Yeah.
like, holy crap, this was awesome. So
Yeah, and that's honestly incredible to hear. Like, there's that sort of level of comfort that you can go and play all these different games and like
right,
not have that sort of typical streamer worry of, is this going to tank my viewership? Is this going to tank my credibility? Because, being a streamer, you know what viewers can be like. Now, that doesn't account for all
right,
viewers, but viewers can be, especially if you're a viewer and you see someone for the first time playing a game you haven't seen in so many years, 9 out of 10 times they will move on very quickly because they've found somebody better. Like, I
right.
think everybody who streams any retro game has seen that before, and it's sad.
Yeah,
It really is, but
yeah, it's
you just kind of know it's the way it goes sometimes. It's just a shame. But then I think that's where the whole idea of community comes in and how important that is, because it's why we have our discords. It's why why we kind of make friends with people who are supporting us. There's like, we're giving them something to come back to, and a safe place. Like, they've made it a safe place for us. It's the kind of thing you have to kind of give that back in a way.
Oh yeah, definitely so. Like whenever some personal things happen in my life, like I've had the OGs reach out to me. I think you've reached out to me a couple times too, and I really appreciate
Well,
it.
of course, man.
And what's funny is though is like I love my wife, but she doesn't fully. I guess she still doesn't understand how we can get a friendship through
Hmm.
the internet whenever you and I haven't physically met.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it was just the vibe. It was just whatever we get from each other, and like the Soggy Sarah squad, but like the OGs, the two Sarahs, Twilight, Jay, and everybody else, Sirigu and Catalina, they all reached out to me as well as yourself, just to make sure that I was okay, and I reached out to them too, and it just showed what kind of community that we have. And here recently, you saw that on my story that I was going through kind of a mental
Hmm.
thing, and the flood of support from the community brought tears to my eyes. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Of
and that's
course.
when I was really leaning on the community. And I hate to say that, but like I love again, I love my wife, but there are certain things that I feel like I have to handle on my own, even
Yeah.
as a husband. But it's like even the support of the community there, the people that have never physically met me other than Jay. I've known Jay since high school. That just shows that like this community is real. This is something real. These people actually care about me. I care about them, and like I'm looking forward to them being a part of this journey wherever this thing goes. And again, I want to reach out a special thank you to you, Andy, for reaching out as well.
No, of
That means
course,
a
man.
lot.
My pleasure. Like, I say we've known each other go back like a few years, and it's like,
Yeah.
man, I was stoked when you came back to streaming. Like, whenever I seen come up, I was like, what? Soggy's back! Holy crap! That was awesome, man. And like, I know I'm so glad you've got that community there, because it's one of those things that I think it's it's as difficult as it is easy to kind of build. Like, you find that, like, if you, I mean, on TikTok, I think it's easier on TikTok for sure, because you have
Oh
that
yeah.
discoverability. You have new people
Right.
coming in all the time. Then, and if you've got the right people there, people will welcome others in, and they will, make other people feel welcome, which is a very much important thing. It's something that I learned quite late on, but before I stopped streaming, it was something I learned quite late on, was that your moderators and the people in your community are way more, they do way more than you kind of realize. And that's like,
Yeah.
being, it's not just a matter of like watching your chat, it's a matter of making people feel welcome. And sometimes you
Yeah.
don't get that. Sometimes, I think, especially on Twitch, I don't think you get that at all, because, I mean, 90% of Twitch viewers just sit at like, now Twitch streamers sit at like three viewers, and two of them are your bots. Like,
Yeah.
I sat through the longest time like that, and it was,
Good job, Nightbot. You did good today. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But that's what I can say here is the moderators here that I picked a good few. Like
Mhm.
they, if somebody comes in and is a little sus, we'll keep an eye on them, and then if they go a little across the line, I don't even have to see it, and they are like, nope, this guy's out, this person's out. And then the people that are actually genuine coming in, like same thing. They basically it's a virtual welcome in with a hug. It's a virtual hug of
Yeah.
welcoming in a genuine person in the trying to come into the community. So I couldn't be more proud of the people that we have as moderators. So.
No, of course, man, and that's exactly what you want and need as a streamer as well. So then looking to the sort of looking sort of further into the year, then we're a couple of months into 2026. I know it's been a bit of a stop-start year so far, but like again, circumstance things happen. What sort of like what's your sort of goal for 2026, and what sort of plans are you looking at for the future?
Um, well, I did start Hollow Knight, and I was trying to finish that. And I guess be more open to different variety of games, and I'm still trying to work on that. Obviously, I want to shoot for. I would like to try to get the community to 2,000. That'd be nice. However, like with my job and we're going to be moving here in probably the next couple weeks to a month to a brand new city.
Oh wow.
Unfortunately, this might still be a little chaotic, the schedule,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna at least try to keep continuing creating content. Maybe focus a little more on YouTube again because I was having fun on Premiere Pro doing different cuts and stuff like that. Like, and the more that you learn, and the better that you feel like you're getting, the more you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you feel the same way with podcasting. You're like, man, I'm really getting this, and I just want to do more, and da 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 da. There's been times with streaming that I've sat here 7, 8 hours, and my wife is like, "What the hell are you doing?" It's like I just can't pull away from it. You just can't. Like interaction with the community, whether it be whatever game it is. I don't even care about the gifts. Like the gifts don't matter. I like the interaction with the chat. And I've said that since the beginning. Gifts are not mandatory whatsoever. Just come
No.
in, hang out, spread some good vibes, and we're good.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And like, did you feel that like when you were focusing more on content in YouTube, like did that help you feel confident to come back to streaming?
Yes, because coming from, so I think when I was on Twitch, I streamed once on TikTok just to kind of like feel the waters out, and then I went back to Twitch because Twitch was more comfortable. I knew it, da da da, da,
Hmm.
but there was no interaction, like I was saying, to the point where I actually got burnt out on streaming. And then I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and switch over to creating YouTube videos, so that way I'm not expecting immediate interaction. I'm not burnt
Yeah.
out and being bummed out. Because as a streamer, if you look at it, you look at your viewer count and it stays at 0 or 1, you kind of get bummed out and it kills your mood.
Yeah.
So that's why I started focusing on YouTube. I was like, there's no chat. There's just me being stupid. I can add whatever edits into this and whatever game I want to play. And obviously, you got to create a thumbnail, whatever else. But I feel like that also opened up a lot of the creative side in me. Beforehand, it was just like, oh, this might be a funny picture, da da da. But when I seen other people's like thumbnails or edits or cuts, that made me want to do into mine. And again, like I was saying earlier, the more I learned, the more I wanted to do. And I probably over edited a whole bunch of videos, but I was just having fun with it. So
But
it definitely helped me come back.
oh, definitely, yeah. Like, because that's the sort of difference that you have between live streaming and YouTube videos. Live streaming is one take. You gotta, not that
Yeah.
you've got to get it right and all, but there's got to be that kind of entertainment value. You've got to, your job as a streamer or a creator in general is to keep people there, to draw people in and keep them there. And that's like the sort of, most important thing. I was actually saying this on an interview earlier on that everything now is about the hook. It's all about the
Yeah.
hook. And that to me is just I think it sucks, to be quite honest with you. I think it sucks. I kind of feel like it's if you're having to draw out somebody's curiosity, I think it says a lot about people today and that they're just not curious anymore, which is kind
Right.
of a shame. But like I agree with you with the YouTube side of things. Like I've done a lot of that myself. Like just while I've not been streaming, while I've just podcasting between that and everything else, just trying to do mini series of things, and it hasn't worked out because I don't have the patience for it. To be quite honest with you, I
Yeah,
wish I did, but I
yeah.
don't. But like the from what I did end up doing, it was just so much nicer. It was just like I can be creative with different things here, and
Hmm.
learning to edit is a massive, massive part of it too, because like I mean, you know yourself, you know when you edit clips, it's like if you take a clip from your stream, you've got like maybe say a good first 10 seconds and a good last 10 seconds, but the middle might not be as relevant to sort of
Yeah.
what the video is about, kind of thing. So you have to kind of learn how to edit and like do you feel like kind of coming back into streaming at this point with all this kind of new knowledge and sort of fresher perspective that you feel like you can sort of have a real good sort of plan as what you want to do sort of thing?
I think so. Like there's been times that I've in the middle of the stream, I'll make like a mental note, like, okay, this could be a clip, this could be a clip. I'm not fishing for clips, but it just happened to be like, oh, this might be a funny moment, and then I'll keep going, and then I'll add my own spin to it for whatever edit I'm doing. But like also as well, like if I were to mess up, I know how to cover it up from the edits, or sometimes just let it fly. You know,
Yeah.
mess ups are more funnier than the clean stuff. So like I don't know if you were there part of the Wind Waker days, but I fell into that lava like freaking 10, 20 times to the point where chat was there was one of the chat members. I could feel the frustration from the chat. I'm like, I'm raising everybody's blood pressure right now.
But like in a way
Oh
that's
man.
another thing, you know, when we talk about retaining your viewers, like that's another thing because that becomes like a game in itself. And then you kind of have the people who are there who they want to see you, they want to see you do it. It's just like, you know, get it this time, they'll get it this time, next time, next time. And then, you know, it just sort of like you have like the power of your audience right behind you being able to help you push through it. And
Yeah.
it's one of those things that if it would be so much different if you were playing it by yourself. Like if you were playing it by
Yeah.
yourself, it wouldn't be as fun. But when you have that kind of interaction, it makes it so much more fun.
Yeah, and it also feels like you said, it makes it more fun. And with having people, whether it be people giving you a little bit of flack about it or actually supporting you, like you said, there's still that inside joke, like we were talking about earlier, that community side that I absolutely love. There's a story that I've told on my channel that I don't think I can say here, but to this day, community members throw it out there, and but yeah, it was just stuff like that. So sorry, I was rambling at them out there. I
No, of course, no,
apologize.
no. Ramble away. That's what this is all about, man.
We'll be here for 3 hours. Okay.
But I think
But
I think I don't know the story exactly, but I think one of the last times I was in your chat, I think somebody told me to ask you about it. I think I can't remember. This might have been a few weeks ago.
about what, my name?
No, there's a particular story that you wouldn't be able to say on stream.
Oh, okay. No, this is an off camera
Oh
thing.
no, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. I think somebody in your chat said to me the last time I was in your one of the last times I was in your streams, like, oh, ask him about the story, and I was like, oh, okay. I can't remember
Yeah,
exactly, but like I mean, obviously, I wouldn't say, of course, I wouldn't say, but
yeah. Because if this is going out, this is going out. Well, it's already out on the internet, but
oh
still,
yeah,
I'm
we're
like,
live,
I
baby, we're
know.
live.
Lord have mercy. And I put my chat off to the side. I just glanced over and I see the emojis of what is going on. I'm like, you guys fucking suck.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. Right now, you just have your chatter just dying for this story to be told. But you know, like that's we're not that type of podcast here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm afraid.
Patreon.
That's yeah, that's a Patreon special right there.
Oh man, I told my wife about that story. She goes, "You can never say that story out loud ever again." But the very next day, I told her the chat. So here we are.
Damn, that's fair. Like you know, and you know as well. So like you know, you mentioned your wife's like there's not that quite that understanding in terms of what you do, like in terms of
Yeah.
that. Like, but how is that like generally speaking? Like you know, I don't mean to get like very personal or anything like that, but
I don't know.
because it's such obviously it's such a big thing for you. Like you know, how is it if you're kind of sharing that story and it's just not as reciprocated as you would like?
Like the story that I can't tell you is
Oh no, just
or
generally like about streaming.
oh. Well, so she's a very tangible person.
Hmm.
She's all good for me going for my shooting for hopes and dreams and stuff like that, which I appreciate. But I guess she whenever I'm on Pluto, she brings me back down to Earth, and I'm not. This sounds really bad, but she lifts me up a lot. She's very supportive. But like I said, unless it's tangible kind of
Hmm.
thing, she's a little skeptical. When I got my first check from Twitch for subscribers, that was the biggest thing in the world to me
Yeah.
because it was like my first 2 or 3 subscribers or whatever it was, and I think it was like $50. Not it was nothing at all, but the fact of kind of like what Logan said, the fact that I got paid to play video games, I was like, holy crap, there
Mm.
may be something here. And then not to make this about money, but coming to TikTok, I felt like people have been really more generous over here versus whatever else. They've helped me pay for lunch. They've helped me pay my bills and stuff like that. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that I'm saying I'm reining in a millionaire,
No,
nothing
of
like that. No,
course, but
obviously not.
yeah.
But the generosity from the chat has helped me out a lot, even in my personal life. So going back to being thankful for the chat, but going back to her, uh, she's more understanding about it. The more tangible things come
Mm.
from it. Like this, when I said that I was going to be interviewed by you, she was like, "Wait a minute, this may be Soggy, may be something that kind of thing."
Okay.
But so I think slowly as we go down this journey, she's becoming more understanding of it. So because before all she saw was like, oh, just like you were saying earlier, it was a bad stigma of a 30-year-old man playing video games. Like, you still play video games? Well, yeah, but yeah, that's how it is now.
That's really interesting, and it's like not everyone's going to understand until they see an end result of it, kind of thing, and that's
Right.
kind of I think that you do have people who view things in different ways. There's the journey versus the result, and like at the same time, like I mean, those two things can go hand in hand. Like you say, if you stumble on your journey, she's going to be there to pick you up no matter what it is, and like I think that's like the perfect balance. Like it's I have to say I love that though. Like to go like Soggy could be just like behind the camera. And that's a
Yeah,
compliment to
yeah.
me. That's a compliment to me because that makes behind the camera something that way bigger.
This is a compliment to me because
No,
like I
dude,
was like, "Are you sure?" In my head, I was like, "Are you sure, Andy?"
of course,
This
man,
might go
absolutely
tits
no.
up real quick.
Man, like the way I look at it, like you know, streamers have interesting stories to tell because there's like as streamers, you're kind of brought together by this like-mindedness of love of video games, particular video games, and community aspect and such. But it's when you go deeper and you really kind of look into sort of the person behind the camera, you know, like that's where it kind of gets interesting to me, man. Honestly, like it's
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you've been able to kind of share your story and we've been able to have this conversation.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on.
No,
Again, I've said it 100 times already, but I'm gonna say it again. I appreciate you reaching out. I appreciate you having me, and I just appreciate you being a friend behind the camera, versus like, well, because I don't mean I'm not trying to keep you on or nothing, but there's been times that I've seen streamers and I'm like, this guy is a big name or whatever else, and whatever they're doing, they might have a bad day or whatever, and then like I personally would shoot a DM and they would answer. I'm talking about a 500K more follower streamer, and that also shows again like they're human,
yeah,
and that's one of the things I was like, people forget we're not just somebody on a screen, we're not just a performer. We love to perform, but we have feelings too, we have interests and stuff like that too. So
100%. Yeah,
sorry, I'm
no,
on my soapbox.
no, you're right. I don't know, but you couldn't have said it better. So, but yeah, it's so true. Like, I think, people do make a choice to go and do this. There are risks to doing it, man. There are 100% risks to
Yeah.
doing it, like for so many different reasons. But at the end of the day, you do it for the love of it. Do it for the love of it, man. And as I say, look, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Um, so your username is it still the Soggy Cracker, or are you just going by Soggy now?
I'm going by me personally. I'm going by Soggy, but my name is still the Soggy Cracker. I don't know if you remember, my old name was Joshua Payne a little while back.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, so that was a friend of mine when I was in the wrestling, when I was training for pro wrestling. A friend of mine came up with that name, and then my wife was like, "Oh, that sounds too serious. You're not that serious." and I started going back through memories. And in middle school, I had a girl that I had a crush on, and she was like, "You're like a soggy cracker. You're white and Mexican." And I was like, "Okay." And then when I brought that up now, she was like, "That fits." My wife's like, "That fits you more. That's more funny, goofy, not as serious as the other one." So there's the name if
That
you're interested
is
about it.
that is incredible. I have always wondered about the backstory for your name, but that is. I think both are incredible. You got the pro wrestler name. Joshua Payne is a pro wrestler name. One is great, but again, when it comes to pro wrestling, it has to kind of fit the character. But that is,
Yeah.
oh man, that is. That, I never would have guessed that that was the backstory of the name. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm a military veteran, and my friend that created the name, he was like, why don't you match up with the movie? Have you seen the movie Major Payne? I
I
don't know if you've
haven't
seen the
known.
movie or not. Okay, so it's a drill sergeant that comes and teaches kids basically, but he's like, you need to match up with this character, and it didn't work out. I couldn't match up with that character. It was Marlon Wayans for the record,
Mm-hmm.
but that opened up another creative side of me. But this is less painful.
Yeah,
I
of
haven't
course.
separated any shoulders doing this, so yeah, that was a lot of fun. I keep keeping
Absolutely.
you. I'm sorry.
No, dude, no, to be. But that will do us for episode one of season two of Behind the Camera Quick Cuts. My guest today has been Soggy, formerly known as TheSoggyKracker, Joshua Payne, as we just described. Uh, thank you thank you for opening this new series with me, man. Honestly, I really, really do appreciate your time, hearing your story, and I hope that it's like resonated with everyone listening, whether it be live here on TikTok or on YouTube when it releases. And just before we wrap up, I would just like to give you the floor, just if you have any sort of final thoughts.
Uh, my mind went blank. Final thoughts? No, I'm gonna say thank you once again. I'm grateful for all the community that we've built over here at the Soggy Cracker TikTok shop, the Soggy Sarah Squad, whatever you want to call it. And I just appreciate everybody that's been a part of this journey, and hopefully I can make you guys proud. And I'm looking forward to 2000. So thank you again for having
Incredible.
me, Andy.
No, my pleasure, Soggy, my pleasure. This has been my guest, Soggy Cracker, on Behind the Camera Quick Cuts, Season 2, Episode 1. Make sure to give Soggy a follow. You can find him on TikTok at The Soggy Cracker. And also, if you like what you see, definitely give Behind the Camera a follow as well on TikTok, Instagram, Spotify. And also, I have a book coming out next week on the 5th of March. So
Congratulations.
definitely give that a please give that a go. Please do. But yes, we have all of that as well. So once again, this has been Behind the Camera Quick Cuts. We will see you again soon.